Summing all natural numbers to infinity gives minus 1 by 12. Sounds illogical, but that's what happens when adding something infinite times gives a finite value. Infinity isn't just a very big number, it's a paradoxical concept. In this video, we'll look at two important concepts in maths and their relation with infinity: progressions and summations till infinity, and infinite sets and sizes. Let's take any two numbers, a and d. Let's say a is 1 and another number d is 2. If we keep adding d to a over and over again, we get a sequence: 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. This is an arithmetic progression, a sequence where each term increases by a constant difference. Now let's take the summation of the arithmetic progression till infinity. Well, first we have 1, we add 3 to it and get 4, add 5 to it, get 9, add 7 to it and get 16, and so on. We can see that as many more terms we take, the summation increases to infinity, and thus it never settles on a single value. It has an infinite value. How do we arrive at the beginning equation where we added natural numbers to infinity and got minus 1 by 12? First, we are going to have to look at some different summations to reach that. Let us take a summation S1, which is equal to 1, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1, and so on. But how do we find its value? Well, to find its value, first we will shift it over one place. And then we can see that the minus 1 of upper equation and plus 1 of below equation align. So we can add both equations up and we get all of these beautiful cancellations. We'll reach 2s1 is equal to 1, and thus we find the value of s1 as 1 by 2. Let's take another summation s2, which is quite similar to our initial equation. s2 will be equal to 1 minus 2 plus 3 minus 4 and so on. You can see that all the even numbers have a negative sign while all the odd numbers have a positive sign. Now we can evaluate its value in a similar way as to s1. We'll shift it over one place and then adding both, we can see we get 2s2 is equal to 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 and so on, which is just s1. So substituting the value of s1, we get s2 is equal to 1 by 4. Finally reached our main equation. Now to evaluate its value, first we'll give it an arbitrary value of s is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 and so on. Now what we have to do is take our previous summation of s2 and subtract it from that. So s minus s2, we get 4 plus 8 plus 12 plus 16 and so on, which if we see, that is just 4 times s. So we get 3s is equal to minus s2, and from there, by substituting the values, you evaluate that s is equal to minus 1 by 12. This is what we call a Ramanujan summation. Quirky but surprisingly useful in physics, particularly in string theory. Now what if instead of adding numbers to infinity and getting an infinity itself back, we sum a series to infinity and we get back a finite value? Let's try something else. We'll take a is equal to 1 and a second number r is equal to 1 by 2. Instead of adding, let's multiply each term by r. We get the sequence 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 8, and so on. This is a geometrical progression. Let's try summing up this series to infinity. As you can see, as we take more and more terms, the value of the series tends to be 2. And thus we can say, as we add infinite terms from this summation series, we get a value of 2. And thus it is also a convergent sum. But in geometrical progressions, this is only possible when our second number r is between -1 and 1. But outside that range, the sum once again blows up to infinity. So AP diverges and GP can converge. We also have a third, harmonic progression. And harmonic progression is taken by first taking an AP series such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on, and then taking the reciprocal of each of the terms. So thus our harmonic series is 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, and so on. There is a very interesting use case for harmonic progressions. We can see this in the block stacking problem. This is a problem that mixes math with physics concept of center of mass. So how does this problem work? First we need a flat table surface. Then at the edge of this table we are going to place a block so that it overhangs just a bit. The maximum overhang for one block is L by 2, where L is the length of the block. Now, if we keep adding more and more blocks, we can see that we get diminishing result. Well, how much of the overhang we get for a large number of blocks? Well, that's just half of the length of one block times the summation of harmonic series to that number. Interesting fact is that in 14th century, Nicole Orsham proved that this harmonic sum diverges, meaning with enough blocks, we can create an overhang of infinite length. But the gain from each new block gets smaller and smaller, and thus we get diminishing results. You might have heard that some infinities are bigger than others. How is that possible? Well, for that let's consider two sets, where set A will be all natural numbers, therefore 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And set B will be the all real numbers, between 0 and 1, which means an uncountable number of decimals like 0.1, 0.333, and so on. I think both are infinite. How can we compare their sizes when we don't even know how many elements they have? Well, we can try using an argument called the Cantor's diagonal argument, put forward by Cantor. Let's try to pair each natural number with a unique real number. That would mean numbering all real numbers. Now, we might think that we have been able to label every real number between 0 and 1 with an actual number. But we can still construct new numbers, new real numbers. How? Well, first we are going to take the first digit of the very first number, and then we're going to add 1. Now we're going to take the second digit of the second number and we're going to still add 1 to it. We're going to do this in a diagonal so on till infinity. If we reach a 9, we just take it back to 0. Well, this new number that we have formed will differ from each number in the list by at least one digit. And so this is a new real number, which is nowhere in the list. And so we have created a new number which cannot be labeled by a natural number. So if we now try to compare the size of the natural number set and the real number set, we can see that even though they both are infinite, the real number set has more elements than the natural number set. And thus the natural number set is smaller while the real number set between 0 and 1 is larger.
When the light is running low and the shadows start to grow and the places that you know seem like fantasy,